Assalamu alaikum dear students. I'm your physics teacher here. Today we for class 9th subject physics. Welcome to Zoom online session. Today we are going to discuss the chapter number 8, that is thermal properties of matter. And today's topic are the conceptual question number 6, 7, 8, 9, because in your previous class you have discussed the conceptual question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in today's lecture we are going to discuss the conceptual question and we are going to revise the conceptual question 6 to 9. So from your notes on page 52, the conceptual question number 6. The question is, ordinary electric fan increases the kinetic energy of the air molecules caused by the fan blades pushing them, means the air temperature increases slightly rather than cool the air. Why? So means they are asking that ordinary fans means the low cost fans, electric fans increases the kinetic energy of air molecules, means they increases the temperature of the air molecules caused by the fan blades pushing them, means the air temperature increases slightly rather than cool the air. It means that the electric fans does not cause a cooling effect as they increase the kinetic energy of the molecules. Why? What's the reason behind it? So the answer is, ordinary fans do not decrease the temperature but slightly increase. It is actually used to move the air molecules. Means the ordinary electric fans do not decrease the temperature, actually they slightly increase the kinetic energy or increase the temperature of the air molecules, and basically the electric fans moves the air molecules. Now explanation. Assuming that the air around us is initially cooler than the body, that is the initial condition. Now if that air stay in contact with the body, then the body will lose little further heat after the air is warmed. Means when the air particles are in contact with our body, and we know that our body has certain amount of temperature and the body is losing the heat, little further heat, and then these air particles will get warm. You can see in the figure electric fan and the air molecules circulating. So the fan, by circulating the air, removes the heated air from close to the body and replaced it with the cooler air. So that's why we can feel the cool air by electric fan, but actually it is the process of convection that the hot air molecules are replaced by the cold air molecules. So you can see that the rising molecules are the heated air molecules which are rising up and replaced by the cold air molecules. So we feel cool when the fan is on. Basically the fan is not causing a cooling effect, but it actually, due to the process of convection, it actually circulate the air particles or air molecules. So how can we conclude this question? A fan doesn't make the air cooler. In fact, the energy is used to power the fan turns into heat, causing it to actually warm up the surrounding environment. So, the cooling effect is a result of heat loss due to the increase in convection and evaporation from the moving air, as we have discussed earlier. So, basically, convective heat loss occurs as the air moves over the skin. As long as the air has a lower temperature than your body, the air will remove heat from your body as it passes by. So the faster the air is moving, the more heat can be removed. So basically the air around you is initially cold, and when the air particles are in contact with your body, so they will get warm, and then due to convection they will replaced by the cold air particles, because the blades of the fans are going to replace these particles and are going to circulate these particles. So that is the conclusion of the question number 6. Now we will move towards the next question, that is, why you should not put a closed glass jar into a campfire What could happen if you tossed an empty glass jar with the lid on tight into a fire? Means why you should not put a closed glass jar with a lid. Maybe the lid is of plastic or metal, and you should not put a closed jar. What will happen if you are going to put a closed jar with a tight lid into a campfire? Then what will happen? So what will happen? The answer is, it is likely that the glass jar will explode like a bomb, burst out like a bomb. So now explanation. If we put an empty glass jar with a lid on tight into a fire, if the lid is plastic, then the plastic will melt definitely and allow the air to escape. Which air? Which is inside the jar. Pressure, because the inside of the jar is not empty, it is filled with air. As we know that the air molecules, air particles are present inside the glass jar. So when the plastic lid melts, the particles of the air inside the jar will escape out. If the jar is tossed in the fire, the air inside the jar is heated and the temperature rises up. So, the volume of the glass only changes slightly due to heat. So, the pressure inside the jar may increase enough to cause the jar explode, throwing glass pieces outward. It means that if the jar is tossed in the fire, means if a jar with a metallic lid is tossed in a campfire, then what will happen? The air inside the jar is heated. Yes, because metal is a conductor, so when it will get heated, it will transfer the heat energy to the whole jar, and inside the jar the heat is also transferred to the air particles or the molecules, and when these molecules are get heating, their temperature is rising up. So the volume of the glass only changes slightly due to heat. We know that the expansion will be there, so on heating the solids will expand. Also the molecules inside the jar will also expand. So the pressure inside the jar may increase enough. It means pressure also increases as the temperature is increasing enough to cause the jar explode. So what will happen? The inside air particles which are going to expand on heating or increase due to the increase of temperature, they will actually exert a stress on the jar, exert a pressure on the jar, and the jar will explode, burst, and throwing the glass pieces outward. So you can say it will burst and become pieces and is scattered into pieces. Okay, so you can see in the picture a glass jar. Yes, this is a glass jar. If the lid is of plastic, then the air inside the jar will allow to escape. But if the lid is of metal type material, so the jar will explode if you put the jar into a campfire. So what will happen? The heat will be transferred, the glass also expand, but the air molecule inside the glass expand, and due to their expansion they will explode the jar. So how can we conclude this question? The heat will increase the pressure inside the jar while at the same time reducing the strength of the glass. The strength of the glass reduced, that's why it will explode, because of increase in the pressure inside. So the glass jar might crack. It is hardly likely that the glass jar will explode like a bomb. So first, if the lid is plastic or lid is metal with plastic liner to make it tight, then the plastic will melt and allow the air to escape before dangerous pressure can be built up in the jar. So that is the conclusion of the question. Now the next question is, why it is advisable to add water to overheated automobile engine only slowly and only with the running engine. So when the engine of the car becomes very heated, we prefer to put the water on that engine to cool down the engine. So why it is advised to put the water very slowly and only when the engine is running? So what's the answer? If we add water quickly on an overheated engine, the water will come into contact with the hot metal part of the engine. So some area of the metal part will cool down very rapidly, while the other part will not. If the engine is not running and you are going to put the water, then some part will cool down rapidly and the other is not, because engine is not running, so the water is not over distributed equally to the engine. So some part of the water will quickly turn to steam and will rapidly expand, which can result a cracked engine block or radiator due to the thermal stress or the emission of high temperature steam from the radiator. So it means when you are going to put water very rapidly on a hot engine, then what will happen? Due to the expansion of the steam, it might crack some portion of the engine or the radiator through which the water, radiators are the pipe in which the water is flowing. So if the engine is not running and it is stopped and you are going to put water, then this some of the part will quickly cool rapidly and the other is not, and some of the water portion some of the water will converted into steam, and due to the expansion of that, or due to the expansion, it will happen that the engine will be cracked. So due to stress, due to thermal stress or the emission of very high temperature steam, because we know that the steam has a highest temperature. Okay, so water should be added slowly with the running engine, because when the engine is running, so the internal pipes are internal radiator pipes, the water in the internal radiator pipes is moving. So when you are going to put the water on a running engine, then it will equally distributed, and if you are going to put water slowly, then although the water is converted into steam, but there might be no crack. So you can see. Conclusion. There are actually two reasons for this. One is to avoid any potential cracking of the head or the block that could result if the overheated parts are cooled too rapidly. If you pour water slowly, the engine will cool more slowly, reducing the thermal stress. So in order to reduce the thermal stress, in order to avoid the cracking of the engine, you have to put the water very slowly. Also, if the engine is running, coolant will be circulating. Coolant means the pipe inside which the water is circulating will allow the cold water to mix with hot water still in the engine. So this will allow the engine to cool more slowly. And the other reason also, just for your information, is that for adding water slowly to hot engine is safety. If you rapidly pour into a hot engine, it might quickly boil over. This can cause a geyser of hot water which could scald you. Scald means injury, a severe injury. So it may be dangerous for you. So water may still boil if you pour it in slowly, but at a level that is not dangerous. It still boil if you put slowly and convert it into steam, but at a level that is not dangerous. Now the last one question is, explain why cities like Karachi situated by the ocean tend to have less extreme temperature than inland cities at the same altitude. The cities at the same height, but the cities located near the ocean and the cities located inland will have the different temperature. So what's the reason behind it? Explanation. So cities near the ocean have less change and less extreme temperature than inland cities. Why? Because it happened because of high specific heat of water, and we know that water has a very high specific heat capacity, which means water requires high amount of heat to rise its temperature a little and to get a little fall in its temperature. So we have to take out a large amount of heat. So in daytime, the temperature of the water rises much more slowly than that of inland cities made of concrete. So the land heat up quickly than water, whereas inland cities become very hot due to sun. Therefore, cities near the ocean remain cooler than inland cities, and temperature, extreme temperature will not be we can say that will not be observed to the cities near the ocean. So in night, ocean water cools much slower than the concrete made inland cities. So you can see in the figure the daytime, during daytime the land portion and the water portion. So water has a very high capacity, so you can say that high specific heat capacity, water heat up less quickly and to lower temperature than land. But as compared to water, the land heats up faster and to higher temperature than water. So there is example of land breeze and sea breeze. So during daytime the land will get hot more quickly, so in night time that land will cold more quickly as well, because of the low specific heat capacity of land. But water has a high capacity, so it may require a huge amount of time, as well as it have a high capacity to store the amount of heat inside it. So as the amount of heat required to increase the temperature is called the specific heat capacity. So water has a very high heat capacity. So how can we conclude this question? So therefore, temperature of the cities near the ocean does not go down so much, which results in less change in day and night temperature of the cities near the ocean and less extreme temperature than inland cities. So this is a reason that why the temperature of the cities near the ocean doesn't go down so much. So it means that because of the specific heat capacity of water. Thank you.